Hello. Here's the one thing that we can always count on with tech. On the day that we need it, it's not going to work, right? So I have gone from going live on my computer to going live on my phone because we just roll with the punches. I am so excited that you are here. Welcome to the Social Sellers community. Welcome to the Earn More, Work Less, Live Happy community. That is what I'm all about. So I am so excited that you are jumping on live. Today, we are going to be talking about connecting together as a community. How can we start to obviously make more sales and have a bigger impact by working together? Drop it in the chat if you know what it's like to do business alone, if you know what it's like to try and individually find all your customers on social media. It can be really overwhelming, right? Like we've all tried it. And here's the thing, when we're individually trying to find our customers on social media, guess what happens? It takes a huge amount of time, right? So if we haven't met before, welcome. I am so excited that you are here. Drop it in the chat if you are new so that I can say hello and get to know you. My name is Faith. I am on a mission to help women to be able to master social media, to be able to grow their impact, and to be able to make tech simpler, because there are so many people that are stuck in social media and tech overwhelm that it literally is stopping them from being able to hit their goals. So I have some notes today because you know me. Otherwise, I will go off. Hi, Natalie. So nice to see you. So drop it in the chat if you are sick of doing Facebook and social media and business alone. Like, let's be honest, when we are just us in our business, and maybe us and a virtual assistant or, a family member helping us, it can be really lonely. Looking for people individually on social media can be hard. And the truth is, if we really want to be able to explode our impact and be able to help on an even bigger level, we can't do it on our own. That's the truth, right? The big names that we see, they're not doing it on our own, but no one is talking about it in all the different programs that we are taking, that they're not doing it alone. They actually have, whether they have a team of staff, which some of us don't want to run, or we don't have the money to run it, or they have affiliates and other people. It's not something that they often talk about, but it's something that makes a huge difference. So imagine if you could win at SEO. Like, drop SEO in the comments if you are maybe not the most SEO friendly person. I know myself, I'm not. But here's the way that we can all win on SEO: by sheer volume, right? So the strategy that I'm going to teach you today is talking about how we can win on SEO, how we can win by banding together, because trying to do it alone is a reason that so many businesses, whether it's online businesses or businesses in person, like a traditional business, why they're struggling, okay? So who do you know that's a business owner that doesn't want to do it alone anymore? I would love it as you're going through. The more that you engage, the more that I give away, right? Because your comments helps to trigger my brain. But who do you know that you could tag in this live that would really appreciate this kind of information? Because at the end of the day, how do we get seen? How do we get heard? Like, how do we expand rapidly? And how do we cut through the noise on social media? Because let's be honest, there are a lot of people on social media right now that are probably doing the same thing as us. Now, I don't believe in competition. I believe in collaboration. But how do we get people? Hi, Cindy. How do we get people referring people to us? How do we make it so that when we're not on social media, there is content on social media, whether it be our content or content we created with others, that is working? This is when we start to get true freedom, when we have the ability to be off social media and still make sales. Drop it in the chat if that is something that you want, right? Then, of course, one of the questions that I get all the time is, well, Faith, it sounds awesome, but who can I link with? How do I find people to link with? So at the end of the live, we're going to talk about that as well. I'm going to give you just two types of people that you can link with. That is freaking massive. And just these two alone, although I have a list of 25, but just these two alone will help you to never run out of contacts. When you understand this, you will never struggle for affiliates. You will never struggle for joint venture partners. You will never struggle for clients again, okay? So how many of you would love to feel like you're not pushing a snowball? I was going to say shit, but we'll say snowball up a hill, right? The thing that we want to talk about first as we go into this is I want you to understand that your leads have a temperature. So what does that mean? We've all heard about cold and warm and hot markets, okay? But I want to give it to you a little differently because we need to understand this and the importance of this as we roll into this content. So how do we take someone from icy cold to toasty warm or even hot so that they buy in the shortest amount of time possible? And it all comes down to how we are getting traffic to our offers. For example, if you're doing business alone, you're doing it the hard way. So let's talk about cold traffic first. And this is what a lot of people are doing. So cold traffic is when you add someone randomly on Facebook, right? They're a cold lead. They don't know who you are. Cold traffic is maybe if you're doing ads. So the sales funnels and your systems are different based on the type of traffic that you are attracting to your offer. So for instance, if you are doing ads, for instance, right? The sales funnel that you use when you're doing ads is very different to if I'm doing a live like this and leading you to something. So a lot of people just have one website for everything, but the problem is that doesn't convert. So what we need to do is we need to think about how we can warm people up and how we can have sales systems that are designed specifically for the type of people. So these are the people that you have to, like, if you have 1,000 of them on your list, for example, then what happens is maybe 1 to 6% of them will convert. Okay, so that's the industry standards. And this is what most people are putting on their email list as well. They're putting cold leads. And one of the things that we hear all the time is that, build your email. Well, here's the problem. If you're building your email list with cold leads, you better be really good at emails. How many of you have ever, drop it in the chat, if you've ever signed up for a freebie, maybe you meant to watch it or you meant to consume it, but you didn't get the time, and then that person's emailed you and then you've unsubscribed. Or here's another thing, maybe you signed up for something, you watched that, and then all the emails they sent you after that were like, buy my product for $39.95, and you unsubscribed because it was just literally so spammy. The thing that we have to do is, obviously, we want an email list, but we want a smart email list. We don't want it full of cold, random people that have to be warmed up, okay? So the conversion rate, if you look statistically with a cold list, the conversion rate is somewhere between 1 and 6%. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not getting out of bed for a conversion rate of 1 and 6%. And this is why we hear that you need to have 10,000 followers, and people are trying to rack up the amount of followers and the amount of friends because their conversion rates are so low. When you have a conversion rate of 1 to 6%, that's one person in 100 or maybe 6 in 100, who thinks that you need to then have more people? Of course. Right? So then let's move to the warm traffic. So warm traffic is like, if you're not new to me, you've watched masterclasses before, you know the value that I drop in these masterclasses. These are people that also come from other people's lists. So about a week ago, I did a live with Jill, and she was talking about tapping into people's lists. So these are people that come from podcasts, or when you go and you do live videos, which we're going to talk about on other people's platform. Basically, these are people either you've warmed up or someone else has warmed up. And this is why it's so important to start to work together. Natalie, Cindy, you guys have people that you have warmed up. They know, like, and trust you. I have people that know, like, and trust me. When we start to share each other on the platform, we are tapping into each other's warm market. And here's the thing about a warm market. It has a 10 to 30% conversion rate statistically. So that means that just by going from cold traffic, and if you want to, by all means, be warming up people, but you want to be warming up people who potentially could be your leads, but also who have your leads, right? Does that make sense, guys? So you want to be looking, if you really want to be smart on social media, you need to be looking for the people who potentially could be your customers, or you need to be looking for the people who could be your customers and that have your leads. Does that make sense? Because if I was to tap into Julia and Natalie and Cindy, and they were to go live on my profile, they're tapping into my warm audience, and I go live on their profile, I'm tapping into their warm audience. The conversion rate statistically goes up because they've already built the know, like, and trust factor, right? So masterclasses like this one, they help you to take cold traffic from cold to hot. They also help you to be able to have content that's expandable. This masterclass, I can keep using all month, right? I can tag people in it. Last time that I ran a masterclass, I also have affiliates that are tagging people in it. This is something that there's no barriers of entry. You're not in a group. You literally can tag anyone who you know needs this message. It allows you to comment on it, which of course, if you know me and you know about the algorithm, one of the things I talk about all the time is you can actually post less content, post high quality content, and instead keep boosting that content into the algorithm and keep working on the social part of media. So many people are focusing on the media part and they're forgetting that actually the first word and the biggest pillar in the algorithms is the social part. So having strategies like this masterclass strategy where you can really help people, this is something, the content that I'm about to deliver is something that you would pay me for normally, right? But I wanted to be able to come on and help people, and that's what we do it, okay? If you've ever watched any of my masterclasses, you know that I am super massive on simplification, on doing activities that bring you the highest return on the time invested, okay? The other good thing about this is there's no group algorithm. You don't have to add anyone to a group. We don't have to wait for them to accept. We don't have to hope that the group algorithm is going to work, right? This one live video has the potential to go viral. Right? This one live video has the potential to have a lot of people join your programs in the one period, right? The other good thing is when we do a live like this, and we're starting to work together, so I can do this live on my profile. If you are someone who would love to have me help your audience with social media, then I can come and do a live on your profile and we can both keep boosting it into the algorithm. Plus, there's no tech problems in terms of people can't find the live, they can't get in. Like Eventbrite is notorious for not allowing us to get to the content, right? And the show up rate, you can keep coming back to this at any time afterwards, right? So then you can download this live and you can download the lives that you get from other people and you can put it on YouTube. And here's the thing, when you start to put the content on YouTube and LinkedIn and Pinterest, you start to win on SEO, so that when people start to search you in Google, well, there's like 15 YouTube videos with you in it, right? There's Pinterest, you're on LinkedIn. So it starts to become a strategy that allows you to expand, but again, you're only doing one thing. Does this make sense, guys? So then you take this video that I'm doing now and the notes that I have, I can then go on to various different profiles and present the same presentation. And here's the thing, when you start to present the same thing over and over again, who thinks you get mastery? Of course you do, right? And that is massive to being able to really to convert higher, right? So I can take snippets from this video and I can share it out on, YouTube Shorts and Pinterest and Instagram and all that kind of things. And then you can lead people back to the main masterclass. And I really wanted you to understand that this masterclass has a massive strategy behind it, and it stops me from having to do low, fluffy. This masterclass is designed to really make a difference. So let's talk about integration marketing, okay? So what I've been talking about is integration marketing. So what is integration marketing if you haven't heard of it before? So you see this everywhere, you just didn't know that this is what it was. So integration marketing is where you've seen Tony Robbins, for example, and Tony Robbins is not doing his events on his own. In those events, it has multiple speakers. Each of those speakers are providing a bonus. So this is all content that Tony Robbins himself doesn't have to create, but that bonus helps his audience. It makes a difference to his audience in something that he's not maybe a genius in. So for instance, for me, I'm not a genius in health. It makes sense for me to connect with someone who is a genius in health for business owners, right? Because that's my target market. I'm not a genius in SEO, so I can link with someone who is a genius in SEO. So this is where we start to fill gaps in our knowledge. So think about now for a second, who do you know or who do you need to know that can fill gaps, hi Sharada, in your knowledge? So who's the person that your people are using before you? Who's the person they're using during you, and who's the person that they're using after you, okay? So this is where we start to think about complementary products to us. And a lot of y'all are thinking about complementary products in the sense of the traditional ways. But what if you started to think about, yes, you are a genius in health and heart stuff, Sharada. So what if you started to think about local businesses, right? So we have the ability to obviously tap into other online coaches, right? That is a massive one. So again, start to think about who's complementary to you. I have a person on my list that I'm about to do a live with, and she's a manifestation expert. I have no clue on that kind of stuff. Sharada is an expert when it comes to the heart, and connecting with people from the heart. So all of these people have genius zones that I don't have. Now, Sharada knows that I'm awesome at social media. So Sharada gets on my profile, I get on Sharada's profile. Imagine if you were doing that and you made this one of the income producing activities that you focused on. Imagine if you just did one a week. So the other day I did a post and I talked about 520 pieces of content. If you did one a week, one live a week where I went onto Sharada's profile, or I went onto Kylie's profile, or I went onto Natalie's or Julia's profile, and I did a live, then that is potentially 52 pieces of content minimum that is out there working while you're sleeping. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, obviously you have affiliates and you can have affiliate links, because let's be honest, in the era that we're living in right now, people are looking for extra income. Right? Something that was awesome for me yesterday, while I was sitting feeding a guinea pig, I had an affiliate commission come in that is big enough to pay my rent, or for some of you it might be a mortgage, for the entire month. Imagine if not only are your content and your offers getting out on a much bigger level, but imagine if when you did lives, like if I did a live with Sharada, for instance, right? That she had an affiliate commission attached to it. Suddenly people become more motivated to promote you because they want to add extra revenue to their business. Does this make sense? Like, drop it in the chat if you're getting it, right? So imagine if you focused on instead of just looking for anyone and everyone on social media, you started to look for the people who potentially could be your client, but also who have your people. So who can you link with that it makes sense that you could go live on each other's profile? We've all seen it happen. How many of you have ever attended a summit, which is basically you and a whole bunch of other people going live at the same time, everybody giving their genius zone? I literally just attended a summit on tapping, and it was 10 days that they went live, and every day there were 2 different speakers. Can you start to see now how this could make a huge difference? Because not only are they being exposed to you, but you are exposing other people, which is a potential way for you to make money. And of course, some people are going to refer people out of the goodness of their heart. But I don't know about you. I am happy to pay every single day 20% to someone. And if you don't have that in your margins, then you need to add it into your margins. But I'm happy to pay 20% to Sharada every day of the week if she is working and she's boosting the post that we did together, and I don't even have to be online. Sharada's the one warming people up. Sharada's the one that's referring people to me. Like, it just goes from you having to do everything to you being able to hire an unlimited sales team. Does this make sense, guys? And the best part of it is now you start to have a brain's trust. When you don't feel like showing up, when life has hit you, guess what? You still have other people that are referring people to you. And when I was running my foundation, there was one affiliate that joined, and I had, at the point when she joined, I was literally going through a separation with my husband, business partners exploding, all of these different things were happening at the same time. And that one affiliate, her name was Julie Semple, that one affiliate saved the foundation and helped me then take it onto a $135,000 business in 16 months, right? Again, one person. And it was because that she was asking questions and she was tagging people and she was bringing people to me. I couldn't quit, right? Because every time she asked me a question, I got excited again. So sometimes having affiliates and having other business owners around you, like Sherry and Libby and Sharada and Kylie and all of these different people, on the days when you want to quit, you won't quit because you have other people around you, right? So this is when we start to think about, okay, so how do we connect? Who do we connect with? And how do we actually connect with? So if you are someone who is adding people on social media, who can you add? And in the social media sprints, one of the things that we look at, we did an hour masterclass on finding targeted people, because just adding anyone and everyone is not a strategy. You want to be able to find targeted people who you can work with, right? But what is the types of people? Start to brainstorm now in the comments. What are the types of people that you could work with? And not just thinking about online business owners, but start to think about traditional business owners. Maybe you want to start to link with your local mechanic, a cafe, a restaurant, a plumber, a lawnmower, like all of these different things. Who is it where you could start to create a directory where you're referring people to them and they're referring people to you, so that it's constantly going backwards? And if you think about this, if you were to do 10 pieces of content, hi Padma, if you were to do 10 pieces of content every single week, and your goal was to get on 10 people's platforms and deliver your masterclass or deliver your signature presentation, obviously it's going to help their audience. So for instance, if I was to go on a cafe's page and I was to do a social media masterclass, there is going to be business owners on that page that really could use that information. So you're really helping them. Then obviously, if I'm giving an affiliate commission for anyone who comes from that masterclass and joins my programs, I'm helping that business owner because they're making recurring revenue, and also they're filling a knowledge gap that they didn't have. Does this make sense, guys? Then I am helping obviously myself, because that one piece of content, if Facebook was to shut me down tomorrow and I had 520 pieces of content on the internet, who thinks that I'm protected against a shutdown? Who thinks it's also really powerful if I was building, hi Libby, if I was building my email list with other business owners, right? So that, Cindy, that is a variable thing, and I'm going to actually be doing in my social media sprints program, what we are focusing on this week is we are focusing on this exact thing. So how do we do this? What's the masterclass? What's the strategy? Who do we target? Affiliate commissions, all of that, systems. Because here's the thing, guys. I literally can pay out every single affiliate in my program in 2 clicks. So you want to have automation behind you, because if you want to work smarter and not harder, I can tell you from someone who manually paid out 35 plus affiliates a month, it is a nightmare. But if you have a system that automatically tracks it all, that automatically they can log in and see where they're at, that they can see who signed up, who didn't, right? All of that can be done if you have the right tech, right? But I wanted to start to think about who can you tap into? Because if you are looking at cold traffic, you want to be thinking about cold traffic that you can warm up, that gives you more warm traffic. So does that make sense? So Cindy, for example, with you are brand new to my audience, but you see this masterclass, it helps you tag others. I can then come onto your profile, I can talk about it, right? I can run this same masterclass over and over again. I actually have one that I do all the time, which is the only 2 things you need to do on social media, which helps people so massively. But that makes a huge difference. And then what happens is we go into hot traffic. So hot traffic actually has a conversion rate of 30 to 50%. This is what we ideally want to create. We want to create loyal raving fans. And masterclasses like this that give high value, along with the income producing activities that we've talked about in other masterclasses. So these are the daily highest income producing activities that you can do on social media, because there are some that are a bunch of fluff and there are some that really make a difference to getting people to know, like, and trust you and to see you everywhere on social media. Who thinks it's awesome when people start to see you everywhere and they see it? Of course, right? Our goal is we don't need to have volume. What we need to do is we need to have loyal raving fans, and that's the base we want to grow. There can be one person who watches your video, but if your video is done right and you have the systems behind it, that person could convert. But if you're using cold spammy strategies, then what happens is you have to have more traffic. And this is where you start to get into volume. But here's the thing. If y'all have watched my social media things, you will know that if you get into volume, you had better be good. Because when you start to have, how many of you have seen people with 10,000 followers and they get like 2 likes on their post? Right? Who thinks that getting 2 likes on your post, no comments, just likes, but who thinks that that doesn't help you to get into the social media algorithm? It doesn't. Of course, we've talked about this before. Comments are gold, right? Comments are the ones that make a huge difference to your post getting visibility, right? So our goal is to get comments, right? So drop it in the chat if you are totally getting what I'm saying, right? This makes a huge difference. The whole strategy behind this masterclass, the strategy of what is a signature presentation, like the only 2 things you need to do on social media, that you could be doing on Cindy's profile and on Libby's profile and on my profile. And if you made this a focus, so your goal was to add people that have your people, to warm them up with your masterclasses and your comments and the strategies that I teach you in the social media sprints, then you take them from that to something else. So you can take them to sales, and sales are awesome, right? There are some people right now that I know need the social media sprints, but I would absolutely love to run my masterclass on your profile and help you to get your social media sprints for free, because absolutely have an affiliate program, but also help all the people on your list, right? So you can be doing both. So if you're focusing in messengers and you're building relationships, then you're building relationships for 1 or 2 purposes. Obviously, they could be your clients, so it's a sales potentially, but it also could be maybe your program isn't for them, right? But they know people probably that your program is for. So you're building a relationship with the purposes of bringing on affiliates or people to refer you. And here's the thing. Some people are so focused on sales, they forget about the relationship. They burn it with some spammy messages, right? Or they don't even engage, which I don't even get that. Like, I don't know why you're on social media if you're not going to be social. You can't post and ghost and get anywhere. We all know that. Social media is not showing you to diddly anyone, right? But what if that person, maybe they're not your client, but maybe they had 15 people that they knew that is your client, but you never got near them because you focused on the sales. So I always love to lead with, who do you know that would love to do a masterclass? Like, who do you know? And Jill and I did this the other day. I was on Jill's podcast, right? Who do you know? Because it's so unintrusive. Oh my God, I saw that you do this. I would really love to do a masterclass and help you to get more visibility on your profile. Like, how can you start to transition conversations and start to think bigger? Because guys, you cannot impact at a bigger level and make more sales if you get 1 or 2 likes on your profile, right? You can't do it alone. This is why big companies are big, because they either have staff, right? Or like Tony Robbins, they have staff and they have other people referring people to them. If you look at one of Tony Robbins's last challenges, he had, I think it was 20 different people that were speaking over the course of 5 days. Each of them gave a bonus to his program. So if you really love, say, Jamie Lee Curmer, if you really loved her, then you joined his program for her bonuses. How many of you have ever joined a program just for the bonuses? I know I have, right? But Tony Robbins isn't creating those bonuses himself. Does this make sense, guys? Like, if you want to work smarter, one of the ways is obviously not content creating everything yourself, to create pieces of content that can get you leverage, like this masterclass, right? To create relationships that allow you to have pieces of content working when you're not on social media. So if you were to get 10 interviews every week, for instance, that would be 520 different pieces of content, potentially 520 different affiliates that are now referring you. Drop it in the chat if you think that that would make a massive difference to your sales. Even if you only got 1 a week, that would be 52 different people that are referring you. And here's the thing. All of those things, if you were to get a Word document and put all of those links into a Word document to those videos, and you were to make it once a week, it was your goal to go back to those videos and comment and answer anybody who's commented on it, right? And then you go back and you do that. That boosts it back into the algorithm. So you not only have 520 pieces of content, but you have 520 pieces of active content. If Facebook was to shut me down tomorrow and I have to start again, first of all, I have 520 business owners that can help me build my list again. Secondly, I have 520 pieces of content that are still on the internet, even if I've lost my whole profile. Do you guys get what a massively big income producing activity that is, right? So when you're coming on social media, so many people are just focused on sales and they're not thinking about the fact that it's actually much better. Obviously, we're going to get sales, right? That's logical. If you know you need help with your social media, if you know that you want to have the income producing activities, I am not teaching you fluff. I am not teaching you the things that do not move the needle. But if you know that you want to be able to hack the algorithms and get the algorithms working for you, then drop social media in the comments, because that is my genius zone. But if you're also someone who's like, I would love to help my audience to get more reach, that is something that I'm good at, right? So this is where it starts to make a difference. When we start to think about, well, who can I help? Who has my audience? And they're the ones that we're focusing warming up. So for instance, if you wanted to warm up a local business, let's talk about business pages, for example, right? If you have a business page, for most people, especially most business owners, local business owners with a traditional business, it's crickets. Like it is posting crickets in abandoned cities, right? But what happens if you suddenly became the person who's commenting on those posts? You're the one that, okay, you decided that you want to go with a mechanic. So you start commenting on mechanics in your local area. First of all, anyone who is going to that mechanic's page is seeing your comments, right? And how good is it if you're the only comment, right? But not only that, the mechanic themselves are seeing you. So you're warming up them, so then you can go to them and you say, hey, I've been following your page for a while, blah, 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 and you talk about your genius zone and how you want to link with businesses and create a directory. Does this make sense, guys? Because a lot of y'all are only targeting online people, but there are a bucket ton of businesses right now that are in your local area, and the guinea pigs are going to squeal. This is the problem with having a guinea pig rescue. I have guinea pigs on either side of me right now, so if they all start to squeal, it's going to get noisy. But this is like, if you start to think about it, stop doing business on your own, right? And this week, when we're doing the masterclass in the social media sprints, I'm going to be giving you a list of 25 different types of businesses. These are just 2, complimentary and local. I'm going to give you a list of 25 at least that you can start tapping into. Just one of these. If you started to think about all the different types of people you could link in. So maybe you have a money mindset coach and you have a business advisor, like an accountancy person, right? Like, I can't even get the words out. That's how much I hate accountants stuff, right? If you had a lawyer, if you had all of these different businesses that you're linking with, and you did a piece of content on their page and they did a piece of content on your page, and you had a Word document with all the pieces of content that you've done, and that you literally go to that content and comment on it, interact with anyone who you may have missed, because it happens, right? Facebook's not always showing us the notifications. Now you are really expanding. Now imagine this compounded for a couple of years. Massive, right? It makes a huge difference. So you could start to, like this masterclass, when I'm finished, I can download the video. I can put the video on YouTube, which makes me searchable, right? I can give this video to someone else to put in their program. So there is so many ways that you can do this, and it's about working smarter. One piece of content used in multiple ways to keep generating you leads if you can't be on social media, or if you actually want to have a life and not be on social media all the time, right? So who do you know on your list right now that could really use this kind of information? Tag them in the comments below, right? Let's help other business owners. Let's start to create a genius zone, a community where everybody can come. So tell me in the comments, do you have a signature presentation? Do you have a piece of, and I'm not talking about a fluffy webinar where it's like 20 minutes about you, 40 minutes sales pitch, something that's really high value, right? Something that you could really make a difference to people. Awesome, Cindy. And then what we do is we have it seeded all the way through. Like you've heard me talking about the social media sprints, because I'm so passionate about that. There are income producing activities that we do as solopreneurs, right? And there are income producing activities that work for the bigger names, those who have teams. Did you know that Gary Vee spends $200,000 a month on his content creation? Do y'all have $200,000 a month? No. But people are following his strategies and trying to be everywhere, not realizing that he actually spends $200,000 a month to make that possible, right? And now I want to just talk quickly on some word of mouth. So what we're talking about is word of mouth marketing. Y'all know what it is. Drop it in the chat if you have ever bought something because someone else told you it was really good. Like someone else referred something to you and you're like, you bought it because of someone else, right? That's what it is. So word of mouth marketing is still the biggest form of marketing. Yeah, exactly. Of course, we've all done it, right? And it's still the biggest form of marketing, yet it's the most underutilized. So if you think about it, for example, whether you agree with these industries or not, network marketing, affiliate marketing, direct sales are each billion-dollar industries. $1 billion, because there are people out there that are looking for side hustles. Maybe they're a nurse, maybe they're a school teacher, and the money isn't going the way that it used to, right? We can help them to have passive income in their life, right? Because they're referring people. Some people don't want to be business owners. This is something that I've had to learn, right? And I used to be like, oh my God, just create a digital product and you'll make money. But there are some people who just don't want to be business owners. But they are people who have our people. They will happily refer people every day. And this is why the network marketing and MLM and all of that are massive industries, because there are some people that don't want to create the products themselves. But we have products and we have services that could really make a difference, and they have a network that we can tap into. So by paying an affiliate commission, so let's just say you choose to pay 20%, right? By paying them an affiliate commission, we're tapping into people that we probably never would have found, or maybe we would have found, but nowhere near the level that they can find them for us. If we don't have people, I just have this thing that came into my head. We all think about Will Smith at the Oscars or whatever it was, and he's like, keep my name out of your mouth, right? We want people to have our names in their mouths because that's how we can grow. If it's just us speaking about our names, that's great. But imagine if 520 people had our name in their mouth. And every time they met someone who talked about that they needed help with our expertise, they're like, oh my God, Cindy is the person to go to. Helen's the person. Natalie's the person to go to. They're freaking amazing. And because you've been helping them on social media, because you've been engaging with their content, they are excited to promote you. And they also potentially could make money, which means that you could be helping someone to put groceries on their table. I remember when I was running the foundation, I had a woman who had 2 disabled children. She did not have the head capacity to run her own business, right? But she was a freaking genius at finding people for me. She was one of the highest earners in the foundation of affiliate commission. And the reason that she joined is she wanted to be able to put these fancy nappies on her 9-year-old disabled daughter. That was her reason for joining. And she worked her butt off, and she was one of the top earners in the foundation as an affiliate, but she did not want to run her own business. Does this make sense, guys? So you can not only tap into other business owners, but you can also tap into the local school teacher, right? The PNC meetings, like all of these different things that want to be able to earn extra money, but they don't have the headspace to run a business themselves. Does that make sense? Now, let's have a look at some stats, okay? So these stats come from Forbes, LinkedIn, and Nelson. So they're 3 major stats companies. Word of mouth marketing drives a whopping $6 trillion of annual customer spending every year. $6 trillion. Who could use 1% of a 1% of a 1% of 6 trillion, right? 86% of customers rely on word of mouth marketing, or word of mouth recommendations and online reviews to purchase. Do you get it? 86% of customers. Like y'all saw, people dropped it in the comments themselves that they bought as a result of someone else, right? 92% of people are more likely to trust and buy from a brand or a business that is recommended by someone they know, like, and trust. This is why we tap into warm audiences. 92% are more likely to buy, right? 85% of small businesses stated that word of mouth marketing brought them the most customers. 86% of small businesses stated that word of mouth marketing brought the most customers, and yet most of them and not referral bonusing the people that bring them. Like if you look at McDonald's, for example, right? McDonald's have referral reward programs. They have rewards for you coming back over and over again, right? Do you get this, guys? Okay, only 4% of Americans trust ads and sponsored content. So all who are doing the ads, only 4% of people trust them. How many of you see ads in your newsfeed and you just keep scrolling by? Right? So the conversion rates, I did an interview with a Google expert a few years ago, and she actually said if you got 1% conversion, she'd be really happy. 1% conversion on ads. 1%. But people are running ads to free content that is costing them money, putting them on an email list, and then people are unsubscribing or they're not opening emails or whatever because they potentially weren't even interested in it in the first place. All right? Word of mouth marketing results in 5 times more sales than paid ad impressions. Brands that inspire high emotional intensity receive 3 times more word of mouth marketing. This is why your message and your marketing and having incentives for word of mouth marketing matter, right? How many of y'all have heard of like 3 and you're free, for example, right? You've seen it at events. Bring 3 people and you get your spot for free. The reason being is they then get 3 people. Or the people who are selling event tickets, right? 5 people. They're selling they're selling tickets of 5 people. Why? Because that's 5 people that they can put on their list, right? Word of mouth feeds the most social proof in marketing. Like Elle, Laura, Sharada, you've all been in my programs. Word of mouth makes a huge difference. It gives you social proof. So why aren't you focusing on it? It is the one that converts the highest. Those stats, go Google it yourself. If you don't believe me, you can go Google it yourself. But this is literally one of the biggest income producing activities that you do. So imagine spending your time on social media focused on looking for the people who have your people. If you're bringing cold traffic to yourself, and this is why when people say to me, who's my target market? Business owners. Business owners. Laura's my target market, Helen's my target market, and Laura and Helen are your target market, Elle, right? Because we're all business owners. We all have audiences where we're all feeding in. And here's the thing, whether we're an employee or a business owner, we all know people, right? So imagine potentially 520 people this year boosting your content and live content that you did with them. And every day of the week, you'll give them 20%. Because they're doing the majority of the work warming people up, right? And like, let's talk about it for a second, adding incentives. So people say to me all the time, yeah, well, people refer, I don't have to pay anybody, they refer people. Yeah, but thinking about the fact that at the moment, everybody is looking for passive income, let's be honest, the cost of living is raising for everyone. Right? ClickFunnels Kajabi. How many of you have ever used ClickFunnels or Kajabi because someone recommended it to you? The software itself is not easy to use for the majority of people, right? But so many people use ClickFunnels and Kajabi because other names are referring it to them and they make like up to 40% commission on it, right? So this is the reason that ClickFunnels' biggest way of them getting traffic is affiliates. And ClickFunnels is a multi-million dollar company right now. And the biggest traffic thing that they have is actually affiliates. So imagine being able to add a commission and buffer it into your prices, guys. Like literally, we talk about that when we get into the systems side of it, right? But you can buffer it in. We now live in a world where if you bring in an extra couple of $100 a month, that can make a huge difference, right? That's someone's electricity bill. And it can be really simple because we have the automation behind us, right? The other thing is it can be a way to overcome objections. So how many of you have ever had someone say, like, I can't afford it? I would really love to, but I just can't afford it. You can give them an affiliate commission and they can earn money off it, right? Yes, an electric bill for sure, right? Instead of giving people a discount on your program, you can say to people, hey, I have an affiliate program that allows you to earn commission. That means that you can get your program at a reduced price, if not free, right? So each of you who are on this live, I have an affiliate program. So with the social media sprints, you can be referring people to it, and for people, and it's free for you. 4 to 5 people, and it's free for you. Like, that allows you to convert people that maybe wouldn't normally convert it because they didn't have the money, right? And the good thing about it is affiliates only get paid when they make a sale. It's not like ads where you're just forking out money and you're hoping something happens. Affiliates get paid when they make a sale. And the best part is you can hire an unlimited amount of them, right? Yes, I love being able to help others earn extra money. Exactly, right? You now have the ability. You're not limited. You can have 500 people on your affiliate list. You can have 1,000. You can be like a network marketing company that has hundreds of thousands of affiliates. Does that make sense, guys? Like, literally, the only difference between you and a massive network marketing company is the number of affiliates they have. They call them, distributors and all these different fancy names. But at the end of the day, it comes down to they have a huge amount of affiliates working for them. Right? Is that an affiliate program? Yes. So that's right, Laura. So yes, you're in the affiliate program, okay? So start to think about who could you link with? Who could you start to have conversations with where you can go live on their profile sharing your Genius Zone, and they go live on your profile sharing their Genius Zone? Then you have a list of them that you're boosting constantly. You give them an affiliate link, and now they potentially could make sales all year long just simply because you commented on that post and they commented on that post. Does this make sense, guys? It is absolutely massive when you start to get your head around it. And what do you need to have in place? Literally, you need to have a signature presentation, and you need to have it structured in a way that it sells, right? You need to be able to seed all the way through. We're going to teach you how to do this signature presentation because it's not done the same way as a old school webinar. We must have it so that it's high value, right? But you could pre-record that signature presentation, for example, right? And that could be given to multiple people. Laura, this is why we do the tech stuff together, right? Then you have the smart systems behind you that allows it to be automated, right? Everything is automated so that literally you are leading people to the first paid step with you. When people come to me, they're going to either my social media where these masterclasses are, or they're going to my workshop or my social media program. All of it is paid because you deserve to be paid. The mechanic and the doctors and the vets and all of them people are not working for free, so why should you, right? But this is how you literally can bring warm, if not hot leads to your programs, to your offers, right? It makes a huge difference. If you are now building your list with business owners like you, who potentially are clients as well, and they're helping you to build your list with other warm people, this is when your email list becomes an asset. If you have an email list full of cold traffic that are unlikely to even open it, so if you have a low open rate on your emails, that's not a good thing. It does not, you can have a 10,000 people email list, but if your open rate is 10%, that is really not many people still. So you want to make sure that when you're putting people on your email list, first of all, they love your content so they'll open your emails. Second of all, stop spamming them. Like, there are people who I've just unsubscribed from this week because the only time they ever email me is when they want to promote their programs. They're not giving me any value. Like, I'm obviously, if you would love the replay for this, right? You never know with social media what happens, but if you'd love the replay, drop a replay in the comments and I will get you on the YouTube replay link. But this is where we start to provide value. This is when we can make a difference. When we start linking with other people, we start getting our message out there. That's 520 opportunities for you to share your message with other people. Do you get how massive this can be? Right? And that is what it's all about. So that's today's masterclass. If you are someone who would love to come on, you want to see behind the scenes of this masterclass, you want to know the strategies, you want the templates, you want to know what we're doing. If you're VIP, you are coming on live with me and we will work on it together after I have done the training. So if you're a VIP, you can work on it live with me on Friday, which will be Thursday for the US, okay? So if you would love to get in on that, and of course, we have everything that you need to know about hacking the algorithm. This week in the group as well, you are going to get the social media flashcards, so the daily activity flashcards, which is fun and also are really amazing for boosting. That's getting dropped into that program as well. So if you would love that, drop social media in the comments and we will get back to you. If you know anyone who this message could really, really help, please tag them in the comments. Let's get the word out there and put your genius zone. Guys, no links. I'm going to block you if you put links, right? But what is your genius zone? What is your main presentation about? Drop it in the chat. And guys, if there's other people who you know, like if there's people that you know you can link people to, let's start linking people. So I know that Laura, because Laura's in my program, Laura makes a huge difference when it comes to yoga and calm, right? So what is your genius zone? Drop it in the comments and start connecting with each other, right? My challenge for you, because you know that I love to give you action steps, my challenge to you is, in the next week, is there someone potentially on this live that you could go live with? Is there someone on your list already that you could go live with, and you can implement this strategy straight away? If you don't have the presentation, jump into the social media sprints program. We are going to be doing it together. But if you do already, start to think about who could you link with, right? Who could you link with right now that you can get your first piece of content out there? Can you give them an affiliate link? Even if you just give them a coupon code, like Laura 10, for instance, right? And the people get 10% off, but you can track it through a coupon code, right? Leadership with Soul. I love that. Longevity. That's awesome. So guys, drop your genius zone in the chat and link with each other. And if there is people, if you are on my list and you would love me to do a social media training on your profile and you would love to be an affiliate, drop Masterclass in the comments and I will connect with you, and let's start helping other people to really expand their message. Let's get all of our genius zones out there in a much bigger way, because your message deserves to be seen. Your offers deserve to be seen. And if you're doing it alone on social media, it is super hard, right? Let's be honest. It is hard. Unless, of course, you have all the strategies, which helps you. And the good thing about it is the strategies that I teach you for you are the same strategies you can use to help others, right? So it's absolutely massive when you know this stuff, okay? So that's the masterclass for today. Thank you so much, guys, for being with me. I hope you got value. Drop your biggest takeaway in the comments below. And let's get this masterclass out there. Tag anyone, share this to your stories. Let's get this message out there and let's start connecting and creating a community of people where we're all referring people to each other, because it makes a huge difference. You're welcome, Helen. It was awesome to see you. Thank you, Elle. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Tracy. Awesome. All right, guys, have an amazing day. I look forward to seeing you on social media very soon, and keep commenting because let's get this into the algorithm. Bye for now.